Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am so sorry I couldn't post on Tuesday and Wednesday of last week. I was out of town creating some content with some awesome and amazing creatives. You know, these people are so talented and I am sure that by the time the videos are released, you are going to love them. So if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe and ring the notification bell to be the first to know when the videos drop. Now in today's video, we're going to be talking about the best ways to get sharp pictures from your camera and also in post. I'm going to be breaking this video into two parts. The first part is going to be what you have to do in camera when you're capturing the image, and the second part is what you can do in post. The first thing I want to give you to get sharp images when capturing on your camera is to step down your aperture. When you buy a lens like this that is a Canon 35 f2, you can be tempted to shoot at the widest aperture, which is f2 in this case, or let's say you have the nifty 50, which is f1.8. you might be tempted to shoot at that aperture, but most of these lenses are not the sharpest at their wider apertures. So what you want to do is you want to step it down. So let's say you have an f1.8 lens, you want to step down to f2 or f2.8 to get a sharper image. The reason being that the way the optics of most lenses work, unless you're using a very expensive glass, usually they are sharp in the middle, but from the middle all the way to the edges they become softer. So to get that edge to edge sharpness, you want to step down your lens a little bit, and this is how you do that. You switch on your camera. For each camera it's going to be different, but for this camera right here, I'm currently at f2, and then you're stepping down to like f2.8 and you get very good images. The second thing you can do to get sharper images from your camera is if you have a lens that has this thing called image stabilization. You want to keep it on when you're taking pictures, not the manual and automatic focus knob, but the image stabilization one right here. For Tamron, I think it's called vibration control. For Sigma, it's called something else. For Canon, it's called image stabilization. The reason why you want to have this on is that when you switch that on and you're taking a picture, the lens compensates for little hand movement and gives you a sharper image. Of course, if you're shaking it vigorously, you're still not going to get a sharp image, but just little human movement like this is going to be reduced by image stabilization. And in case you don't have image stabilization on your lens, it leads to my third point, which is whenever you are taking your picture, try to stay as stable as possible. You see the way I'm sitting right now, with both of my elbows towards my stomach and both ends gripping the camera. This will kind of create like a support for your camera. Of course, it's still not going to be perfectly still, but it's going to be more stable than just holding camera like this. There's a lot more movement this way, but when you hold it like this, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 points supporting your camera, so you kind of have a mobile tripod. So this will also help you in a case you don't have image stabilization. And then number 4 is a rule of thumb, and the reason why it's a rule of thumb is that it doesn't always work and you don't always have to stick with it, but it's a good starting point. The rule of thumb is whenever you are taking pictures, let your shutter speed be double your focal length on your lens. Let's say I'm taking a picture on this 35 f2 lens. My shutter speed should be above 1/70th of a second. Now this camera doesn't have 1/70th of a second, so you don't want to go below, you want to go above, which is 1/80th and above. The reason why you want to do that is so that the shutter in your camera will quickly open and close and will be able to sort of cancel out the human movement you have. So if you do these 4 things, you are guaranteed to get way sharper images right from the camera. With that said, there are 2 things you can do in post-production to sharpen up your images. Now if we open our computer and we go into Capture One, as you can see right here, I'm going to also demonstrate Lightroom. There is an option called clarity. By the time you drag it up or down, it increases the sharpness of your images. So when you increase it, you can see it's getting sharper, and when you reduce it, it's getting softer. The same thing applies in Lightroom. When you increase the clarity, as you can see right here, the image gets so much sharper, and then when you reduce it, it gets a lot softer. Now with that said, I need to understand that when the image itself is not so sharp from the camera, there's only so much you can do in post before it begins to look just looks weird, right? So you want to pay a lot of attention in capturing as sharp of an image in camera, so that when you get to post, even if you are sharpening it just by probably 5, or let's say you are pushing it, you're getting to 10 or 15. The way sharpening in post works is that the software looks at the points of contrast, so the edges of your subject, then it adds a lot of contrast to those edges, so it just looks so unnatural. Another takeaway from this is that the better your lens and the better the sensor on the camera you're using to capture your images, the better and the sharper your image is going to come out. And of course, the better your technique, the better the images you're going to get. So thank you very much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. Now, before I go, I have a huge announcement I want to make. I am launching a WhatsApp group that is meant for photographers and videographers. There will be resources that will help you to grow in your photography, your videography. We're talking tips, we're talking tutorials, we're talking pointers here and there. I'm going to be answering all the questions you have. I'm going to collaborate with leaders in the industry to bring answers to you. I'm going to be making videos based on the questions that I asked in this group. So you basically get to decide what I put out on this channel. And the group is absolutely free. So I really see no reason why you should not join. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'm going to see you in the next one.